Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a quick beer review. Going back up north to Cellarmaker, one of my favorite Northern California breweries. Courtesy of my man Pete. I appreciate you, my bro. This is Double Mount Nelson. This is a re-review for me. I don't re-review beers a whole lot, but Pete sent this, so I wanted to review it. And the last time I had this is back when I was upsetting folks and chugging beers. So the last time we had this, we chugged it. This time we're going to sit with it and not chug it. This is per the label, 100% Nelson hopped, hazy West Coast double IPA. What does that mean? Hazy West Coast. Is it not going to be hop cummy? Who knows? I don't really remember what this beer looked like. I remember really liking this beer though. So 8.2%. Of course we chugged an 8.2% beer. Why not, right? Canned on June 3rd. So time of recording, 6 weeks in the can. I had this for a little bit. I meant to drink this earlier and I just didn't get to it. So Pete, I apologize it took so long. This is going to be fine though. I had a Cellarmaker glass and I can't find it. I hope I didn't break it and don't remember breaking it. Gosh, it bums me out when I can't find proper glassware, but it's fine. Like, we're going to be okay. So they say it's a West Coast hazy double IPA. This to me, and I say this every time I drink a Nelson hazy beer, this looks like old school Alpine Nelson. It is definitely hazy, but it's not hop cummy. It's glowing in the glass. It's like a glowing orangey pineapple juice-ish beer. Finger of fluffy bright white head. It is marshmallowy. It looks awesome. I say this every time. You guys are probably sick of me saying it. Nelson is a love it or hate it hop. I fucking love Nelson. It is on my Mount Rushmore of hops. But a lot of people, they don't like it. So let's go and smell this. Gosh, this is citrusy too. We've done a few beer reviews today. We drank a Threes Brewing Nelson IPA and it is just like that. This is very citrusy. Sometimes Nelson can be decently funky, super like green tomato vine. Sometimes it can be citrusy. This is citrusy AF. It's like that fresh squeezed orange. This is almost like sweet tangerines too. It definitely has like an earthy Nelson funk thing to it, but this is very citrus forward. And the fact that this is 8.2% is insanity to me. There's a sweetness to it, but it's not alcohol sweetness. It's just like that kind of, I always say like sourdough bread crust sweetness. There is a funk to it. It's a little vinous, but white grapey, but this is crazy citrus forward. But yeah, as it's warmed up, like it's been hot the last couple of weeks in North County, San Diego, so my garage is warm. So even though I just took this out of the fridge a couple minutes ago, just sitting here in my hand, you could see the can sweating. There's a little bit of like that diesel-y thing coming out. Smells fucking awesome. Pete, cheers. Thanks, bro. I don't think I mentioned it. Cellarmaker's in San Francisco. They're in Oakland. I mean, you guys know Cellarmaker. Gosh, that beer is fucking awesome. How is that 8.2%? That's insane. There is an awesome, like, pithy citrus thing that's going on that I was not expecting. It is like orange rind, almost like pink grapefruit bitterness. So much like orange juice, too, for Nelson. That earthy thing, though, it's there on your palate. Middle of your tongue to the finish. Like, that, it's fucking insane, like, how zesty, pithy citrus that is. And it just lingers on your palate, but then like that earthy, diesel-y Nelson thing comes like on the finish. But then you have like that white bread, like on the finish, that like white bread sweetness. So it just like balances the beer super well. I seriously, I cannot believe that this beer is 8.2%. No wonder it was probably easy for me to chug it back then. This is crazy drinkable for being a double IPA. Dry on the finish too. That like zesty citrus rind lingers. I love it. I said this in the Threes Brewing beer that like people who don't like Nelson because it can get really funky and earthy, they would like a beer like this because it goes more towards that citrus part of Nelson. I don't know, like, how does that work? Like, how come sometimes Nelson is citrusy and how come sometimes Nelson is like super grapey and funky? I have no idea. I don't know if it's like the different yeast that you use, the hops react different. I don't know. I love it both ways. But yeah, the last two Nelson hazy beers that we've had, they've been more on the citrus side of things, more than like the funky vinous, like white wine. I mean, this definitely has like a grape thing to it, but I think the bitterness is, well, it's a West Coast style beer, right? So maybe that's what's making my brain like go towards that. There's just so much fucking citrus zest on the middle of my tongue. I love it. And that sweetness on the finish just balances it out really, really well. So I'd have to go back and watch my other review. Obviously, it's hard. Like when you take one drink, you chug a beer, trying to figure out what you're tasting. But I wonder what I was tasting the first time I drank this beer a couple of years ago. I'm going to watch it and see. So this for me, for being an 8.2% double IPA with as drinkable as it is and how flavorful it is, it's fucking awesome. World-class stuff, but you expect that from Cellarmaker. So Pete, I appreciate you sharing this one so I could check it out again. That's Double Mount Nelson. Have you guys had this one? Let's talk about it. Good stuff. So that is it. Appreciate you guys watching. I will see you soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the view so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't